The most underrated team on the grid this year. Let's talk about them. Ciao friends and welcome back to 2sex Ted. I want to talk all things AlphaTauri, because I think they have been criminally underrated so far this year, and I'm going to show you 5 reasons why I think that. Now, these points aren't in any specific order, but YouTube loves a numbered list. And of course, if I get anything ridiculously wrong, feel free to quote this back to me in a year or so. So, number 5, Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki is a rookie on the grid this year, one of 3, all graduating from Formula 2. Yuki Tsunoda didn't have the longest junior career, but that is in fact a good thing. It means his talent shone so brightly above the rest that he graduated through every series incredibly fast. Last year he finished 3rd in the Formula 2 Championship, 1 point behind Callum Ilott, both of whom were only beaten by Mick Schumacher, the new Haas driver. As Yuki showed in testing, he can be incredibly quick in the car, and I'm very much excited to see how he performs in a race setting, in Formula 1 machinery. Number 4, we've talked about Yuki Tsunoda, one of their drivers. Their other driver is Pierre Gasly. Unnotable Formula E driver, but has had a much better career in Formula 1. And if we're talking about success in Formula 2, Pierre won that championship back in 2016 when it was known as GP2. He then graduated to Formula 1 at Toro Rosso and was swiftly moved into Red Bull, where he didn't do so well. However, in his first stint at Toro Rosso and on his return, he did incredibly well, scoring a podium in Brazil in 2019. And latterly in 2020, when the team became AlphaTauri, he did even better, scoring a win for the team at their home race in Monza. It seems like he's really got to grips with the car and is settled into this team incredibly well, so hopefully he performs even better this year. And he's the second reason why I think AlphaTauri are going to do quite well this season. Number 3 is Honda. Honda may be leaving the sport once again at the end of this season, but they have not taken their foot off the gas. They still want a championship with Red Bull Racing, and AlphaTauri are running the same power unit. Honda are fully committed to this engine right up until Red Bull take over at the end of the season. Hopefully, Honda have been working on reliability as well as maybe adding more power to the car, and this should give AlphaTauri as well as Red Bull a strong base to launch from as the season gets underway. Honda, of course, last year, thanks to Pierre Gasly, becoming the first engine supplier in the turbo hybrid era to win with more than one team in a season. A record matched by Mercedes later in the year when Sergio Perez won in the Racing Point, but Honda did it first at Monza. Reason number 2. AlphaTauri haven't taken Red Bull's 2020 rear end. They were entitled to, but they haven't. They've stuck with the 2019 rear end, a much more stable platform. As we saw throughout last year, both of the Red Bull drivers span consistently throughout every kind of session possible. It was a really unstable car to drive. And AlphaTauri haven't got that problem, hopefully, because they have stuck with the 2019 rear end. So it should be a fairly fast, stable, consistent platform, which, when you're chasing wins and championships, maybe isn't the best thing, but if all you want to do is do well in the midfield, this is really what you want. As we saw with Ferrari last year, an unstable rear end can really derail your season. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Racing Point, really stable car, did really well. And the final reason number 1, the budget cap. As I'm sure you're aware by now, 2021 is the first year of Formula 1's budget cap for teams. AlphaTauri are one of the only teams whose budget will have increased under the budget cap. Because Red Bull, who were hugely over the budget cap for Red Bull Racing, will almost certainly be diverting some of those funds to AlphaTauri. And even though they're taking on the engine project at the end of the year, they should still have room left over to fill Scuderia AlphaTauri's budget cap to the brim. This means that they've got more money to work with than ever before. 2 incredible drivers, a stable car, and a Honda power unit. They didn't do all that well last year, basically fighting with Ferrari for the back of the midfield. But I think they could really launch themselves forward this year, and especially next year. I'm really excited to see where this team goes. I think this could be a consistent podium challenging team, if not maybe race winners once again. But that's just my opinion. What do you lot think? How do you think AlphaTauri are going to perform this year? Leave me a championship position down in the comments below. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you on Thursday before the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix.